Good morning. This morning you join us from Murton Pike in the North Pennines. This is just on the what we call the eastern fell side, a few miles from home. And I've come up here today in the hope that there was a cloud inversion. It looked pretty promising from the valley when I got up this morning, but it's a bit of a semi because we've got a little bit of low cloud in the valley there, but there's still some high cloud that you can see. But I'm a bit sweaty, but we're going to hoof it up Murton Pike, which is this little peak behind me. I've got Ted with me somewhere. There he is. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about today's video when I get up there and I can share a couple of views. Okay, so see you in a few minutes. Come on then, Ted. Here we are, just topping out now. Well done, Ted. Beat me as usual. So yeah, as I say, I was hoping for a cloud inversion, but we actually drove through it on the way up here, and yeah, not much really. It's very still though. The chimney stacks from the gypsum works across there is rising straight up. Normally when we're up here you get a right hoolie blowing, because I'm looking west at the moment towards the Lakeland fells. You can't actually see them because of the murk, but you normally get quite a stiff westerly blowing across here. But then we have a very peculiar wind which blows in the opposite direction off this pike, or off this fell range, called the helm wind, and it actually blows in the opposite direction. It's very strange. Even though you've got prevailing westerly, you get this helm wind which blows in your face as you're walking up. And if we just pan round, in the distance you might just be able to make it out, but there's Great Dun Fell, which has got a golf ball on top of it, which is part of the National Air Traffic Control Network. And there's actually a road that runs up there, and any cyclists will know it because it's quite a famous climb. And you've normally got the helm wind that blows smack in your face up there, which is not very enjoyable. So as I said, we're on Murton Pike here, and there are actually 3 pikes on this fell side. So there's Murton Pike, and you'll see in the distance just there, that's Dufton Pike. And then behind Dufton Pike there's Knock Pike, and they're kind of 3 conically shaped fells, Murton Pike being the highest. Dufton Pike, the one that's in the distance, there's a cracking pub down in the village of Dufton called the Stag, which is probably the best pub in all of England for any of our US viewers. So I've actually been practicing a few drills today. I have spasticity in my right leg as a result of the spinal cord injury. That spasticity is predominantly in my calf and my hamstring, which means that my muscle is what's called toned, and it's locked. It won't release because the nerves are kind of confused about what it needs to do. As a result of that, my right leg is very stiff, and yeah, it gives me a very pronounced limp. I can also trip up if I'm not concentrating. But my drills today were just simply to try to relax, and it may sound quite simple to you, but when you're stepping forward, to remember to bend at the knee with your trailing leg, so that your trailing leg will just step through naturally and rely less on the psoas muscle, which is the muscle that's in your hip, to lift it up, because that's the thing that takes a lot of concentration and is quite exhausting. So it's just quite simply, my drill today was to remember to bend my leg at the back so that it lifts my foot and it can come naturally, swing naturally through without tripping up. Now this week's video is quite simply just about getting stronger. It's about the period of time between the first time I got out of bed and the second operation, which was a lateral approach discectomy. Try saying that when you've had a couple of beers. And yeah, the 5 or 6 weeks that I spent just trying to get those muscles working again that were paralysed as a result of the spinal cord injury. So I'm going to share 3 or 4 little videos, some good fun ones as well, I think. And as I said in my previous video, it's all about the rehabilitation journey now. Here we are a few days after getting some movement in my thigh. I actually managed to get some movement in my toes, a tiny bit. My left foot's working okay. From there, I started to be able to lift my leg, although it took so much effort, and that psoas muscle in my hip, I had to really concentrate hard to try and lift my leg up. And you can actually hear the effort that it's taking to do that. At this time I had very little sensation in my right leg as well, and when they tried to get me out of bed and put my feet on the ground, I couldn't feel where the ground was. It was a really strange sensation. And there's my toes working a little bit more now. Several days later, I was then able to try a wheelchair transition. As you can see, I can't actually feel where the ground is. It's really disconcerting.
You okay?
Yeah, that's not the way to do it.
Oh wait, that's very bad then. Ted, look!
And here's the first reunion with Ted. I'd not seen Ted for a few weeks, and the girls brought him to the hospital, and he spots me across the park.
Oh my god! Oh my days. That would be unpleasant.
You alright?
Yeah. Oh Ted, oh my days. He's cuddling in so much. Look at his tail.
And here my physios had actually made the mistake of leaving a Zimmer frame by my bed when they left for the night. So my wife and I nicked it and gave it a spin round the ward, which wasn't exactly allowed, and I didn't make a particularly good job of it. I hasten to say that they took it off me and I got a bit of a scolding the following morning. You get my feet as well?
Yeah.
So I can,
Yeah, you can look at your technique. Make sure you get in your knee bend.
No, I can show the physios tomorrow then. And
Yeah,
then
you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they won't let you have the frame anymore if they think you're going rogue.
I think we're going to go off the fell in this direction, Ted. What do you reckon? This is where we skied when the snow's been good, when we get a decent easterly. And it's actually a cracking little hill to ski off, but we're going to go down this way. Come on Ted, let's go.
Bye.